Oh,
Hello.
oh,
It's been warm.
I'm worried the plastic in here is going to start melting.
Well, it's. I don't want to say it, but it's going to get hotter. So
Oh,
we ain't seen nothing yet, as they say.
I know. I learned a big lesson yesterday as well.
What's that?
Well, from Home Bargains, I can get the slushies.
Oh, right. Okay.
Do not have the blueberry one when you are about to do a video, because if you do, you're gonna need to wait an hour.
Blue tongue.
Blue
Headache?
tongue, blue lips.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So don't have the blueberry slush before you do any videos, because yeah, it doesn't go down well.
That's good to know.
But apart from that, how are you?
Yeah, just been. Well, there are. It's like every week. You have these plans, and then the week comes along, and it sort of goes out the window a little bit. So yeah, it's been a bit of a. Well, I wouldn't say busy, but yeah, sort of the Partworks have definitely taken a back seat this the end of the week. I haven't. This is the first time I've been in here actually since Wednesday last week, or Wednesday week.
I live in my little room. It's my little way.
So I'll be getting deliveries, and then I was just putting them on the desk. And as you saw from the photo, it was going higher, and I was like, that's got to be cleared. So I've cleared it. But yeah, tomorrow and Tuesday, I've got nothing on. Fingers crossed. So I'm going to clear quite a bit of it tomorrow and Tuesday, and I should be up to speed. But yeah, I've been all over the place. So yeah,
ours was our normal week really, and then weekend's been a little as normal, so nothing really fantastic happening this side.
Yeah, we done stuff during the day, and then when it comes to the evening, it was so hot that I was just like, I can't be doing much today.
Yeah.
Can't be doing this evening. Yeah, so there was a few things on. So yeah, that was like it on Thursday. So we went out in the morning, done a few bits, and then in the afternoon, we couldn't be bothered to do much. So
Right.
Friday and then Thursday evening. Sorry, went to the quiz, so I wasn't here any Thursday evening anyway. Friday we went out in the morning, done the food shop, and then went back out again, done a few other bits, and then in the evening when I was going to do some work, WWE was on, and it was live, so I was able to watch it because normally it's at midnight or 1 o'clock, but it was on at 6 o'clock in the evening, so we watched that. That didn't stop until 10, so that's quite late. So,
oh wow.
Saturday, me and Kirsty went to a spa. We were there literally all day, and then when we come back, we didn't want to do anything. And then today, I went to the cinema to pick up my Jurassic World Rebirth cup because they've been coming out. So these are like the exclusive cups that they do at the cinema. We went to garden centre, potted about a bit, and then I said, "What does the kids want for food?" Yeah, it's another bit of advice: don't cook in this weather. The girls wanted a curry tonight, so I cooked a curry, and it was hot. Not the curry, but the cooking. Cooking was the one.
Curry in this weather, my God.
Well, I said I turned to the girls and I said, we normally have a roast on a Sunday, and I said I'm not doing a roast because it's a lot of cooking and everything, and I was like, it's too hot. And they insisted they wanted a curry, so when we were out, we got all the bits for it, and I cooked that, and yeah, I was sweating, and that was even before the curry.
Wow.
So if you can avoid not cooking in this heat, do it, because yeah, it's not a nice experience.
Well, the news on Partworks is there is no news on Partworks.
No, we've got the summer lull at the moment. So
yeah, basically, yeah, there's no news. So obviously we showed the Lich King, and that's all that's happened. Still waiting on Agora to release the new James Bond cars. They must be behind on that one.
Yeah, and the Orca.
Yeah, the Orca.
Apart from announcing it, there's been nothing else. So we haven't really seen. We haven't seen any official photos. We saw a silhouette. They release like a little preview where it had like a silhouette of it. But that's about all we've seen. We've not seen any official photos of it or anything.
And there's also the Desert release Jeep as well.
Yes.
That one's to be released, so we don't know when that's coming either.
That's 4 models effectively to be released this year. So there's a lot coming out from them. I think there's 1 or 2 things coming out from Hachette before the end of the year. And I would imagine that Fanhome will be releasing stuff as well. So there is still stuff to come. But nothing at the moment. It's a sort of summertime. It's when everyone goes away on holiday, so they don't tend to release a lot of stuff now anyway.
Yeah. And I mean, I've got the Optimus Prime, which finishes, and there's nothing out there that interests me to start a new build, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I finished the Tumbler. There was nothing to replace that. Nothing that sort of urging me to do. I'm with you as well, Mark. Optimus Prime finishes in, I think it's 2 or 3 weeks' time. And like you said, there's nothing really that's sort of drawing my attention to for me to actually get. So, we'll have to see how we go. There's a lot of my builds finishing. So you've got the Skyline that's due to finish in August. And then I think it's October for the 66 Batmobile. I think it's September, October, November, that sort of time. But like you're saying, nothing's been out. Nothing's sort of going, oh yeah, I've got to get that.
But I suppose it puts you in a position of if something comes out that really takes your fancy, you can put your name down straight away.
Oh yeah. I'm at that position now where if anything does take my fancy, I can sort of go ahead and do it. But at the minute, nothing is sort of grabbing my attention at all.
No.
And there is a lot of choice. The problem is there's a lot out there at the moment. There's a lot of choice. A lot of choice.
So let's go through some chat and see what everybody's saying. Right, hang on, I've got to go to start on this one. So yesterday at 5:30, we've got D Harris and says, and a good evening, Mark and Kev. So good evening, D.
Hi, D.
And then I can go to live comments now. And tonight we've got Kevin and Mary who say, happy Sunday from a sunny Gran Canaria. Wow.
Oh, lovely. Sunny Gran Canaria.
Yeah.
I hope it's not as muggy as it is there than it is here, because it's. I don't mind the heat, but
abroad doesn't
so muggy.
As bad because there's more moisture in the air.
Yeah, especially if you're on the coast. I don't think it's that bad when you're on the coast. It's when you're inland.
Yeah.
Where you feel it.
And then we've got D Harris again, who says, and a good evening all from Kev's side. So
hi D, thank you.
We've got Andy Carolyn who says, hi Mark and Kev and all in chat. Hope you all had a fantastic week. Mark managed to get the back issues from Fanhome ordered last week, so not too long to wait. Guys, bear in mind to be careful when you're working on the inside of Vader masks that the tiny pipe work on outside go ping and get eaten by the carpet monster. Had to rebuy issue 22 again. I'm not that far ahead actually on mine, but I'm trying to build mine up a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to collect a backlog, and then I can maybe do two a week.
Yeah, and then if there is a delay, you don't have to wait. Yeah, it doesn't affect you.
Yeah. Next in, we've got Will's Workshop, who says, good evening all on Mark's side, and a good evening to all on Kev's side. Kev, don't forget about the Batmobile advice.
Yes, yeah, thank you for that, Will. Yeah, I've got the issues down here. I'll be doing that tomorrow probably. So, yeah, thank you for that advice, putting the pipes in the engine and stuff on the back wall.
There we go. So yeah, good evening, Will.
Cheers, Will.
We've got Ian Campbell who says a very good, hot and muggy evening all. So evening. Ian. Will's Workshop says nice and cool down south currently, blue skies and a slight breeze in the air. We've got a slight breeze, but it's not enough.
Yeah, it's the same here. It's not enough. It's been very cool in the mornings, but come the evenings, it's been really warm. And yeah, I'm not looking forward to Monday or Tuesday outside because it's just going to be so warm. See,
I tend to get out of bed quite early in the morning, so if I need to do anything that day, I go to the shops when it's nice and cool morning weather, get what we need from the shops, and then come home, and then I don't have to go out in it again.
Yeah, well, we try and do that, and then we sort of sit in. Like today, we went out in the morning to pick a few bits up, and then this afternoon we went to a garden centre, so we were sort of like just thought we'd have a little walk around. But yeah, just to get out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to being at home. Like I said, in here is my little oasis. It's everything I want in one place, so I can happily sit in here for a few hours and it doesn't bother me. Time flies by. So
yeah,
I got to tinker and do bits and pieces and come up with some crazy ideas for stuff. So.
Brilliant.
We've got Ian who says evening Kevin Mark. So evening Ian.
Hi Ian.
And we've got Sonic Boom who says evening everyone. Good evening Sonic Boom.
Hi Sonic Boom.
Then we've got Steve Edmonds who says hello all. Hello Steve.
Hey, Steve.
And we've got Burgess who says good evening all. Good evening Burgess. Welcome.
Hi Burgess. Welcome.
And then we've got Ian's World of Models who said good evening Mark and Kev and all in chat. So good evening Ian.
Hi Ian.
Ian says Mark you're suffering mate. LOL. Yeah. My problem is when it's like this, if I go outside 10 minutes, if I go outside with not a hat on, I will suffer sunstroke straight away.
Yeah, I've caught the sun on my shoulders, so it's all red.
So yeah, I'm not very good. So I yeah, it's just so warm.
Yeah. Best to stay in.
Burgess says not to be mean, but I got 12 degrees C and rain. Oh, that sounds so refreshing.
It sounds nice now. It sounds really nice. Not in the winter.
Yeah.
But
the problem is, us British, we just moan no matter what the weather is. So if we're saying we can't wait for summer, and in summer we say we can't wait for a nice cool day and rain.
Well, Peter Kay done that sketch, didn't he, where he goes, "Oh, I like it warm, but this is too warm. Yeah. This is warm."
Way too warm. So yeah. Ian says Kev looks cool. So
thank you.
Cool down. We've got Mark's Hobbies in who says hi one and all. Good evening, Mark's Hobbies. Welcome.
Hi, Mark.
And we've got Stephen Haynes Models in who says hi, Mark and Kev. Good evening, Stephen. Welcome.
Stephen.
And we've got Geordie Dave in who says hi, everyone. Hi, Geordie. Welcome.
Hi, Geordie. Welcome.
Ian says we need a big thunderstorm. Well, this is what's getting me. Now the climate is warming up in the UK, are we going to start seeing more weird weather, like really good thunderstorms?
Well, obviously with humidity rises, it should cause more thunderstorms. And they've been saying, "Oh, we're going to get thunderstorms," but we haven't yet. So I don't know what's happening.
Well, don't worry, because I mean, West Yorkshire, Yorkshire Waters decided to do alerts on droughts. So
yeah,
apparently you only flush your toilet unless it's necessary. Trust me, every time I go to the toilet, I flush it because it's necessary. Goodness sake.
Yeah, I don't know how they police that. I've never really understood that.
Well, that's the thing. How do you go out and check to make sure
somebody's... Well, just imagine the policeman knocking on the door and saying, "We've got reports of your toilet being flushed."
What's the law?
I don't know how they police it, to be fair.
Or hose pipe bans.
That's another thing. My dad said, "Oh, your neighbours could dob on you," but I was like, "So the police are going to turn up and go, 'We've heard you've been watering the dandelions. Can you stop?
Yeah, your neighbours report you
Yeah.
for using your hose pipe. Do you think you're going to be friendly to them neighbours anymore?
No. No. How do you know? Yeah. How do you know what I've been watering?
Have you been? Is that neighbour got binoculars and he's looking down on your garden, being spying on you?
You never know, do you? You never know.
Max Hobbies says hi, Mark and Kev. So evening, Max Hobbies. David Hawley says a very good evening, Kev and Mark. Out that time of the week again. Good evening, David. Yes. Hopefully, we're not just a pool of moisture on the floor by the end of this.
Yeah, we haven't turned into changelings yet and turned into a puddle. So.
Yeah. You know what? Picard's Budgie Smugglers right now does sound like a good idea.
Just as I got that nightmarish image out of my head.
Oh, dear. Will's Workshop says, I'm waiting on a kebab to turn up, LOL. Well,
yeah, if you don't cook in this weather, that's all my advice.
Yeah,
at least not something big, because it's with the oven on and everything else, it's not very nice in the kitchen when it's hot.
Our downstairs is cooler than our upstairs, so it's not.
Heat rises, so there you go.
I cooked mac and cheese today, homemade, so
nice simple meals. That's what you need to do when it's hot. Just nice simple ones. Get you through.
Ian said you should try an iced curry, Kev. Cook night before, chill, and eat cold.
Oh, do you know what? I have had a takeaway, Indian curry takeaway, and then eaten some in the morning. I think we've all done that. And a kebab as well. Put that in the microwave. Come back in the morning and eaten. We've done it all. We've done it all.
That's the best hangover cure.
I think it tastes nicer.
There you go. We've got Geordie Dave who says, did you watch Clash of Champions yesterday, Kev?
I did, yeah. I watched it live. That's why I didn't get anything done on Saturday or Friday, because it was live. So, yeah, that's why. Otherwise, I would have cleared a lot of this in the evening because it cooled down a little bit. But, we were watching that. So...
we've got Ian who says Ultimate Power Kit very, very soon. Plug and play, one power for all builds. So yes.
Oh wow.
There is progress on Partwork Upgrades website.
Oh.
So
lovely.
You can check it out. So yeah. So
brilliant.
Ian's World of Models says I was supposed to be doing a bit of gardening today. I lasted about 10 mins, came in and started building pack 10 of the Apache instead. Really coming together now. Yeah,
we've all been there. Do you know what? I cut the grass in our garden about 3 weeks ago. It now looks like a desert. It's completely near enough killed all the grass.
Well, the thing about grass is it comes back pretty quick.
It does, yeah. It does recover really quickly, but normally it would have grown a bit by now, but there's no growth whatsoever now. It's just looking a bit barren.
Max Hobby says, I got the last pack already of the Optimus Prime. Wow.
Nice. Yeah, well, I know some people have. Gross Models, I believe, got his last pack.
Right.
And some other people have as well. I've noticed because they're on the Facebook group, so I've noticed.
That's strange. Me and you, Kev, we signed up for it as soon as the website went live.
Yeah, we're basically at the same point, because when I receive mine, yours normally comes a couple of days later.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've noticed some people have already got theirs, but I don't think we're only a couple of weeks away from getting our last one anyway. And then we're going to do a joint video again, aren't we?
Yeah. One thing that I will say, somebody actually mentioned, in the new generation of Optimus Prime, what they're giving us isn't an ion axe. It's an ion sword. They changed the movies.
Yeah, that's right.
I've been calling it the axe when it's not an axe, it's a sword.
Yeah.
So I stand corrected on that one, but I didn't even know that. So David Hawley says, Kev, Just completed the final parts of my tumbler build. Everything seemed fine to start with, all worked, left it for a quick smoke, came back to it and found it had stopped working, the lift.
Yeah, you're in the same boat as a few people. I was just talking to Mark before coming on. I did a poll on the Facebook group and it looks like it's a widespread problem. They've also picked up on the stuff that I did in my video in Italy and in Mexico where they're building it, and they've also had the same problem. And as far as I'm aware, the last thing I heard was that Hachette know about it and they are coming up with a fix, but I don't know any more than that.
Right. You know what, though? I think they're just putting too much in these things.
Mm.
They're putting too much in it. Before we would be happy with lights working on something, like the DeLorean. So DeLorean had very basic electrics, if you remember, and it was just lights, no speaker or anything in it, and you're just trying to put too much more in there, and it's just not working.
It was quite a complicated system with all the micro switches.
Yeah.
And I personally think they just overcomplicated it. I think there could have been an easier way of doing what they've done to get the same result. I just think they overcomplicated it. But yeah, I think there's a lot of people like you, David, that got it working and then it died straight off. I think some of these builds, as we know, it comes down to power. I know they're all done by the AA batteries or whatever, or the AAA batteries, but they sometimes aren't. Even if you put brand new top of the range batteries in these things, it still isn't enough, because I found that out with the Terminator. Yeah. So when I built the Terminator, everything worked except the eyes. They would light up, but they wouldn't move. And then you gave me a power mod, Mark. Do you remember? Yeah. And everything on it works perfectly. It still works to this day. The eyes still move, the jaw, and it didn't matter how good the batteries were in it. I just couldn't get it working. But with the power mod, it works straight away. So I'm wondering whether a lot of this stuff is not just down to like the way it's working, but actually down to the power as well.
Yeah, I just think don't put so many gimmicks in it. You know.
Yeah.
I mean. We've got the big one, which will be the Dalek.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's got a lot of gimmicks on it, but then I'm hoping that's going to be a bit like R2, because that had a lot going on R2, but it all worked in the end. I mean, my works perfectly. It still does flawlessly now after all this time. Yet I've had some models that have been built after I built that haven't, and they've had simpler wiring. So.
Yeah, maybe we're asking too much of these models now.
I'm wondering whether they're putting too much on them. Well, this is another thing. It came down with the Enterprise D. Do you remember the Enterprise D? And everyone was saying, well, why didn't you just connect the saucer to the star drive section? Why did you have to have it separated? And their comment was, well, it does that in the show. And so many people want accuracy. So with the roof moving, if it didn't move, people might have gone, oh, I'm not going to build that because that's just like the Hot Toys version or a static model. Yet they've gone, oh, we make it move. And the people have gone, oh, just like in the movie. I want that. Yeah. Most people did. I mean, there's a lot of people on the group saying that one of the massive selling points for this was the roof mechanism.
Yeah.
So, and people want more accuracy now, don't they? They want more stuff to work on, more stuff to operate and all of that. So yeah, it's a balance.
Yeah. We've got Dylan's Den of Models in, who says, evening everyone. Evening Dylan. Welcome.
Hi, Dylan.
And we've got David Hawley says the post for the canopy seems to be stuck.
Yeah.
Well, didn't it in the magazine say you have to break it if it gets stuck?
To stop it sticking, yeah, there was this is another thing, like you had to sort of jam something in to break something off so it wouldn't stick.
Yeah.
It says it in the book. I think that's pretty bad, really, when it's telling you to do something like that.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Mine's now on display and it looks really good, so I'm quite happy with where it is now.
Yeah. Will's Workshop says, I'll hopefully be installing the bat circuit this week.
Oh, lovely.
We've got Scottish Trekkie in who says, hi, lads. Good evening, Scottish Trekkie. Welcome.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, any of you watch Night of Champions and what was your thoughts?
Yeah, I did, and it panned out exactly how me and Dan do this when we're not busy, do our little Star Trek, our little wrestling podcast thing, and we were talking backwards and forwards, and all my predictions, apart from the US title match, sort of happened, came to what happening. So my prediction is Jade Cargill will beat Tiffy for the title, and then Naomi will cash in and win the championship offer, and Cody will beat John Cena at SummerSlam for the title.
And I have no idea what you're on about.
And then John Cena will turn face, stopping the heel turn because he's only got a couple of months left before he retires, and they won't want him to retire as a heel. They'll want him to retire as a babyface, send him off on a good one. So that's my predictions, but it all sort of panned out exactly how I thought. So, yeah.
Right. Okay. Dylan's Den says good evening on Kev's side.
Hi, Dylan.
We've got Alex Builds in who says, hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Hi, Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Welcome.
How are you doing?
Back. Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Yeah. We've got Kenneth in who says, hey, Mark and Kev, who is incredible and amazing and a league in my eyes and who I'm looking up to. Thank you for that, Kenneth.
Here's Kenneth.
Flip Dip says, Fan Home say they have a big announcement soon. Bat 89 ?
Yeah, they're going to New York Comic Con again. So I would imagine just before then that they will announce. Last time they went, they announced a few builds. Spider-Man. I think it was the Skyline. I think.
Yeah, but the 89 was titled by Harshette.
No, it was Fanhome.
Are you sure? Because I'm sure you can.
Arteria. Is it Arteria or something in France? Yeah, Arteria. That was it.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, it will be Fanhome that brings that out if they do. But yeah, they normally announce like one or two big ones for New York Comic Con, but we normally find out before.
Yeah.
They're there. We did before, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It might be, might not be, might be something completely different. We'll have to wait and see.
Ian says they'll fit a meter to the bog, LOL.
Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised we're all not on water meters now.
Well, we are. I think because ours got installed and then our water company will automatically put you on it, sort of thing.
Right.
Affinity Water. And they installed them a couple of years ago. And I think now you had 2 years where you had to choose and then you automatically put on it.
Right.
And we're automatically on it, but I don't know if it gets checked.
It must be different region to region, really.
Yeah.
Dylan's Den Model says they need to get into my house first. Yeah, how can you how can I get past the threshold into your house to check your flipping toilet?
Well, how do they know? I don't know. Your neighbour's listening next door and go, oh, Mark's flushed the toilet twice already today. Get on the old blower.
Oh,
let them know.
Check the waste pipe or something. I
don't know. It's really silly, isn't it? It's really silly.
What did they do? Have a detector van going around like TV licensing?
What, you mean the fake TV detector vans? Yeah. Crazy.
Ian's laughing his head off. Percy Ban, never heard of him. No. And Dylan Model says, my final delivery of the R2 detail is being processed, so I have ordered the batteries ready for the grand finale.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm surprised the batteries aren't really included now.
They can't ship batteries.
Yeah, that's the thing as well, isn't it? Yeah.
You have to have a carrier license to ship batteries.
That's right.
Unfortunately, because of the hazard they pose. So I found that out when I ordered a car battery online, which you can do.
Oh yeah.
I ordered a car battery online, and yeah, certain companies carry the license to ship batteries.
Yeah, well, we do get the little cell batteries, but I think it's higher.
Yeah. Remember, Royal Mail won't tolerate any batteries at all.
No, paint or anything like that. Paint or all that sort of stuff they won't carry.
Anything hazardous, Royal Mail won't touch.
Yep.
Bit of a wussers, to be honest with you.
But... Well, the machines and the stuff, because all the machines all your packages get scanned and X-rayed and God knows what else. So, yeah.
We've got Marcus in who says, hi, Mark, panel and chat. Good evening, Marcus. Welcome.
Hi, Marcus.
We've got Eric Lawton in who says, hi, Mark and Kev. Eric Lawton from Ottawa, Canada. I noticed a video of Wayne got his roof works. I guess you just put that tumbler away and move on to another build. Yeah.
Yeah, I could. I've tried to fiddle about with it, but I've just sort of it is what it is. Move on. I'm quite happy with how it works, but I kind of think that a lot of people will have this in a case, in a display case, and probably won't actually work that roof section. It's the sort of thing. It's the sort of thing where you go, you want to have a look at something cool, come and have a look at this, and you push it, but you're only doing it like once or twice a year. So
okay, so it's a case of if you've got it running on batteries in a case, you've got to then put gloves on so you don't get fingerprints on the case.
Right.
Take the case off to switch the model on to show the features. That's too much hard work, that.
Yeah, also as well, worth noting that if you do leave it on, it will drain the batteries ridiculously quick, even if you haven't got it, even if you're not pushing the buttons on it or you turn everything off sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's still a constant drain on it if you leave it on. So yeah, you would have to take the case off, turn it on, off and on that way. I can't see a lot of people doing that, to be fair.
No, neither can I. Flipdit says, Harshett have been inundated with emails, LOL.
They have indeed. They have indeed. And it's not just us, it's our international friends as well in Italy and in Mexico who are also building it and having the exact same problem.
Yeah, I wonder if people at Harshett are going, for frig's sake, would they stop getting this wrong? I
would imagine they are not very happy.
No.
Just like us, really.
Yeah.
But they could be going into Spitfire all over again.
Yeah. Will's Workshop says, does the Dalek move around like R2?
It does indeed.
Yeah. Apart from you get a remote control with the Dalek, with the R2 we used an app.
Yes, you do get a little big remote. Well, I say a little, it's quite a big remote control that you can operate everything on it.
Yeah. Eric Lawton says maybe, but you do electricity yourself because company maybe preset the electricity for testing before they are packing.
Maybe. I don't know how they test everything, so I would imagine that there is some testing at some point.
Yeah.
It'll probably be just a plug-in. The green light goes on and it works, and they just pack it. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know what that was.
Well,
Will's Workshop says, I guess it doesn't fly upstairs though.
No. Be cool, but no.
Yeah. Eric says, maybe do yourself of electricity because company lacking checking before power.
Yeah.
In the
Well,
build.
you've got a test board that Mike Lane did, so that would be very helpful.
I'm always using that Test Circuit Pro now of my wiring. It's just handy to have, and it sometimes eliminates getting the tester boxes out all the time.
Yeah.
Scottish Trekkie says, "Do you think Cody will turn heel?"
Yes, we already know that because he sort of spoiled it because they had the kickoff preview show for Night of Champions, and he said he's coming to the end of his baby face run. So that means his heel run is going to be imminent.
Yeah.
So I'm almost thinking that will be SummerSlam that will happen. So
yeah. Flip Dip says there's only 2 wrestlers for me: Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks.
Jesus, that's going back some. That.
Yeah. David Holly says, I'm going to ring Hachette in the morning and inform them of the problem I have.
Yeah. As more people email or tell them the problem, the better a solution will get done.
Yeah. Ian Campbell says, yeah, I'm on a water meter. And he says, it gets checked, Kev. My monthly bill goes up.
It comes and I pay it. And I think it's by direct debit. You know, it's really bad because my dad's the same. He doesn't really like bills come out and he doesn't check. And I said to him, you've always got to check, but there are some bills I don't check as well. They just come out of the bank account and I just don't check them. I should really. I should follow my own advice. But
Andy Carroll says, I have a water meter. The bit I hear is you pay more for water running on your roof and down main drain than you actually use. Grey water and drinking water both together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ian says, I reckon they have a weight detector. Could be. Stephen Haynes Model says, I looked at a water meter and it's going to cost me 3 times as much than I pay now.
Oh, wow. They tell you it's cheaper.
Right.
But yeah, we sort of went a bit sort of energy mad, really, because we got the electric car and then we got a new dishwasher and we had the bath out and the shower put in, all of this to reduce water and everything else. So yeah, and heating costs and everything. And at the moment, it seems to be doing quite well. So
Ian says, did you know we had to reverse the polarity to the T800 head circuit? So beware anyone doing their own mod on it.
Right.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Eric says, thank you, Mark and Kev, for your good answer. No problem.
No problem.
Sonic Boom says, rechargeable remotes for builds would be good. The amount of batteries the Terminator remote eats is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
The Partwork upgrade power mod still working well, though. Well, mine, I actually Horlicks did mine, but some people did a kill switch on theirs.
Yes.
Stopped the batteries being drained.
Yeah, so even if I think Horlicks done a mod, didn't he, where you could do something and it would stop, because basically what happens is the remote waits for it to be turned on, so it's in a standby mode, which means it drains the battery whether you're using it or not.
So what the solution was to put a switch into one of the wires, which would completely cut the drainage on it. So when you turned it on, you'd have to turn on a switch and then the power button on the remote to turn the remote on. And then you'd have to do that in reverse, and it stopped draining the batteries. So there is a solution for it, but it depends if you're confident enough with soldering and stuff.
Yeah.
I wasn't back then, but it's something I would definitely challenge now quite easily. So,
Yeah.
Eric says maybe a good face-to-face with fan home at shows. Tell them what the problems with the build issues in face-to-face in person. So, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these companies go to the shows, so Agora and obviously Fan Home. So, and there's always people from the company there, so you can always
there
tell them.
is, but 9 times out of 10, I bet the right people are not there, because at these shows it'll be the promotional department that would be there.
Yeah, I'm sure they can take down certain things and let people know, but yeah.
But I'm sure it's more the promotion team that are going to be at the shows.
Oh yeah,
than the people that really need to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Scottish Trekkie says, and a Star Trek question: do you guys think I should recall Fan Home on my XL Enterprise G, as I received it, but the nacelle was not properly glue or on right? What you think? I just replied to myself, Tar. Well, I'll contact them.
Yeah, contact them. I do believe that they work on it as a case by case, but if it's not attached, I would ring them.
I'd ring them, take a photograph of it not attached to prove that it's broken off, and then ring them. And you may have to return, because I know they're very strict about the replacements with the starships.
Star Trek ships, they are indeed,
So they may say, right, you need to return it, and they may give you a free post address or a thing to print out, return it, and then they'll probably then send you out a new one which isn't broken.
Yes, yeah. So it's always worth just ringing them. But if anything like that comes up and you're not satisfied, always contact them. It depends on whether on how broken it is really, or anything, and if you're confident enough just gluing it back. Sometimes they do request a little bit of glue put it back, but it depends on how they broke and everything like that. But in your case, I'd probably just contact them, see what they say. Yeah. But they do work on a case by case basis now, so for the starships.
And also, if you need to know where the number is, it's on your invoice, so it's quite
easy. It's on there. If you're a subscriber, you can actually do it all online. You don't even have to ring them.
I prefer ringing though. I don't know. I get more done when ringing them.
Yeah.
I can't sit around waiting for them to read an email.
Email you, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I just contact them and send in a picture, and if they ask for it to return it, and get one that's completely perfect.
Yeah, 100%.
You're paying for a completed thing.
Yeah.
Eric says, when have their show in New York, tell Fan Home in face-to-face, tell what problems with their models. That's what I would do. Yeah. I can never make it to these shows, so
it's New York, so yeah.
Ian says, I'm off, folks. Take it easy. Great stream, Mark and Kev. Okay, good night, Ian. Thank you for coming.
Ian.
And Eric says, if there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. Scottish Trekkie says, thank you, lads. Much appreciated. No problem.
No problem.
And we've got Jamie Sample who says, are you doing the Lich King?
I've been umming and ahhing and thinking about it. I'm on the fence at the moment. We'll see what happens down the line. It might be one that I end up doing later on, but at the moment, it's not really a priority build for me.
And the problem is, again, it's 6 issues a month.
Yeah. So if I did this, it would cost me about £80 a month, which is quite. I could do it, but it's quite a bit. That's £80 a month. So
The other thing though is they really need these slip cases. They send you one at every 20 stages. You can fit more than 20 stages in a slipcase.
You can, yeah. I would admit that you can. Yeah, I don't know how it all works, but I would admit to that. I would say that you can fit more into these cases than what they say. But then I don't know whether they just say they do it so it protects the books. I don't know, but yeah, you can definitely fit more magazines in them.
I prefer binders, but that's just me.
Yeah, we're old school. We like the old-fashioned binders.
Yeah. Sonic Boom said, I had a mark on one of my Robocop parts and I wasn't going to bother contacting Fan Home, but with the cost of the builds, you better get things you aren't happy with replaced. Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Totally agree. But we always say, if you do modifications, you do modifications at your own risk.
Yes.
And if you damage it while doing the modifications, Partwork companies are not obliged to send you replacements for free.
That is right. Yeah, that is 100% right. Yeah.
So any modifications you do at your own risk.
Yes.
Sonic Boom says, and to be fair to them, they replaced it with no bother at all. There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
It's not a hard process.
No.
Burgess says, I had mixed up issues from Fan Home. They replied in 10 minutes and sent me, Ian, replacements.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Eric Lowton says, thank you, Mark and Kev. Awesome answer. No problem.
Right.
And he also says, good night. Good night, Eric. Welcome.
Right, Eric.
Scottish Trekkie says, yeah, thanks, lad. Good podcast. I like you guys. You make my weekend better. Bye for now, Mark and Kev. So thank you.
Cheers, Scottish Trekkie. Cheers, mate.
Burgess says, I got 1 million Skyline slipcases already.
I think there's only 6.
You think about it, 120 issues, that's 6 slipcases they're going to send you.
Yeah.
Flipdit says, worst binders ever, DeLorean. Geez, I didn't mind the DeLorean binders. The only problem is when you got to the end and you had to squeeze the last magazine in the end.
Well, didn't they make the when it was Eagle Moss? Didn't they make the magazines obsolete? Because didn't they at the very end? Didn't they produce a magazine with every single issue in?
No, that was a book. You got.
Right, okay.
That was a book right at the end of the build that had every single instruction in.
Yeah.
So, but Fan Home don't do that.
No, but I do remember that. I remember there are lots of people saying why they do that because it just meant getting rid of the magazines. Yeah. And they done one big book with all. See, I really think that's a really good idea. You know, they could produce a build and give you all of the instructions right at the very first issue.
Yeah, they're probably.
And then they wouldn't have to do the binders and they wouldn't have to do the magazines. Yeah,
that's all well and good. But somebody then gets them instructions and goes, Jesus, I'm not doing that, and cancels a subscription.
Yeah, I am. That's true. Yeah, there's that part to it.
Yeah. So, Sonic Boom says, I have 5 slipcases for Robocop so far. At most, I think I'll use 3.
Yeah, I can't remember where my Robocop ones are. They're over there. Yeah. I don't know how many you get. I think it's 5 on the Robocop. It's only 100 issues on that one, so I think it is just 5.
And also, which we found out, the Enterprise D, if you're currently building that and subscribed when they first brought it out with Fan Home, your third binder is a slipcase.
Yeah, I do believe the binders are now slipcases instead of the binders that we had with Eagle Moss.
So you have 2 binders and 1 slipcase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, I went on eBay and found a proper binder and paid the money for a proper binder. Because I had no way that would do my OCD in crazy. Having 2 really nice binders and a slipcase. So I reckon the binders might be worth some money eventually.
They probably will, you know.
Well, the thing is, they probably now run out of the stock that Eagle Moss had.
Yeah.
And now having to produce their own. And they've gone, well, not having binders, they cost too much money.
I was going to say, it'd probably be down to cost.
We'll just do slipcases instead.
Yeah.
But that would have just done my head in. Two proper binders and a slipcase. No way.
Mm.
So I managed to find a brand new binder for a £5 on eBay, so it was worth
Brilliant.
it. Yeah. David Hawley says, got the innovation of the flying ants in my backyard at the moment. The patio is covered in the blooming things.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah. Ants, flying ants. Oh.
Yeah. Once we had a massive ant problem in the house we lived in. And we phoned up the council. The council came out and went, yeah, you've got a problem, but there's nothing we can do about it. We're like, oh, yeah. And it was real bad. I mean, we were having to like lock things away in airtight so they didn't get in. And then one day we were in Wilco's and we saw these ant things like discs. And I said, right, we'll get one of them and we'll just put it down and maybe it'll just get, reduce the population. Put that down. Within 24 hours, all the ants were gone and never came back.
Brilliant.
So I don't know whether one ant carried it to the Queen. The Queen died, and they all went. So, but I am caught up with chat.
Oh, okay.
So at least we're not a pile of water on the floor by the end of this live stream.
No, it's we're all right at the minute.
Yeah, I've still got my little fan going away, blowing warm air onto
I've got a bladeless one when I'm doing stuff. But it's quite noisy, I think, so I won't put it on because it's quite noisy.
There are new ones this year, isn't there? There's fans with the water bottle sprayer on them.
Yeah, I've seen them. My brother's got. My brother's just bought. Actually, funny enough, I went. He came round earlier, and he's bought one of these new shark ones.
Right.
That sprays mist.
Right.
And I was like, I've never seen one like that where it's like a fan that sprays mist out, so it cools you down. Don't know why they've done that, but so I did see something. So a friend of ours, Brian, if you're watching, hello Brian, you probably won't be. He's in Barcelona at the minute. They've got these outside misting stations, so they look like showers, but they're outside and they spray a mist on you to keep you cool. And I thought that's a good idea, but then it doesn't get that hot over it very often, so that sort of thing's a bit sort of obsolete.
Yeah, but if you had something like that, you could act like you're going into a decontamination booth or something. Yeah,
it's like this. They've got them everywhere apparently, and they've got like 6 arms on them, and people push the button and it blasts like mist over you to keep you cool.
Yeah,
I was like, that's quite a good idea, but yeah.
So. Plans to catch up this week then, Kev?
Yes. All the plans that I had last week went out the window, obviously. But yeah, I'm definitely 100% on it tomorrow, Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm going off to see Jurassic World. And it will be the normal Dalek on Wednesday as well, because that's all we've got now.
Right.
And hopefully tomorrow and Tuesday, I'll get a lot of this done. So there'll be videos all week. So it might be double some days just to clear it.
Yeah.
But there is quite a bit here, so as you've seen in the photos.
So myself, it's normal videos per days. I may throw an extra Optimus Prime in though, because I really want to get caught up with that so I can get the last pack and outright build it done. So yeah, because we did say, didn't we? We'd do it at the same pace and then we'd do a video together after it's
I was talking about it. Because all of this is brought out of that. This Partworks Live was all originally part of the Optimus Prime thing.
Yeah.
So
crazy how it turn out.
Yeah.
Andy Carroll says, night guys, that time again. You look after yourselves. See you next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Please do.
Yes. Thank you.
And Will's Workshop says, good night all. Have a good one and try to stay cool. So I'm hydrated as well. Drink plenty of water and and try and stay cool in this summer weather we're having.
Yeah, and what a summer it's been so far.
Yeah. So just leaves me to say I've been Mark.
And I've been Kev.
And we'll catch you all next week, guys. Bye.
Good night.